I first heard about it coming back, the excitement to be a part of something spikes, but also had my skepticism and just my eye open for what it actually may be, so I don't get my heart broken.
My name is Chad Foreman. I'm one of the original founders of kind of Fallen and Black Box from back in the day. I helped start Black Box with Jamie Thomas in 1999. Jamie and I grew up together as kids in Alabama. We started Mystery, Fallen, Slave, through Black Box, which was an amazing time. I have such a passion for Fallen and a love for Fallen, just from being so involved with it from day one and putting all the original riders on and building the team, shooting catalogs, shooting ads, going on tours that really shaped who I was at that time as a skateboarder from Alabama and moving into the professional side of my business life in the skateboarding industry.
So I originally got on Fallen when I remember living with all my friends at the Hot Wax House. And at the time I skated for Circa. And when Jamie left Circa to start Fallen, I got one package of all black shoes, just tons of black shoes, and then I skated those things all the way until my contract ran up, and then I got to skate in Fallens. The shoes were incredible, and to break them in, I ran them over with my car, and they were bulletproof, so I skated them for a long time, shot my first Fallen ad on them, tray flip nose blunt, the Trenton rail, and that was in the first pair of Fallens that I skated.
When I was first basically getting into the industry, like maybe had just gotten on Zero. Fallen was in the works. It was the original team. It was Jamie, it was Harmony, Billy Marks, and John Alley. And I was just really hyped on the way that looked. It kind of resembled Zero a little bit. That was kind of an attraction. And I think just over time, wearing the shoes and then getting super stoked on how they skated, and I think that's where I just belonged.
I was there before Chris and Tommy, okay? I voted these motherfuckers on. Fucking great watching it become what it did, and it was really exciting, really new and fun. Right, and I don't want to say my prime, but it was like right when I was doing shit, a lot of it, and then it just all made sense. And I think it was a big part of skating for a while. Like, put out a fucking good video, and it was a legit company.
I think the thing that sticks out the most about the original Fallen is just that it was unique in its own way, because like I felt like it had a prestige to it, like when you saw the ads, like they looked so sick and you just felt that like vibe. And Rise with the Fallen kind of created like an underdog outlook and made people feel like they're connecting, and I felt connected, and I think that was a big thing, was like everybody feeling like we're all in this together.
It really embodied this blue collar like warrior status in skateboarding, where you were really die-hard skateboarder, whether you were good or not. But as long as you had heart, that was kind of who Fallen catered to.
I wanted to be on till the very last day, till the very last minute that it was alive, and that was my commitment to, being on the company. I mean, you could kind of just tell, you could already understand what was going on. A lot of other companies were already going down. You could feel like our warehouse is getting smaller and smaller until they turned into an office, and then you're just kind of like, okay, well, now we're back at square one, and are we gonna try and build it back up? Well, we're just basically getting eaten up by the big guys, and it was too much of a struggle. I think at a certain point, obviously we had to give in, and we're not able to put up the battle that was at hand.
When I heard that Fallen wasn't going to pull it anymore, I wasn't surprised, because I had watched it go on for a while, But it still was a bummer. It still hurt, you know, my friends being on the brand, and then the brand meaning so much to me that, you know, there are a few companies throughout time that when they go out, it stings a lot. Almost like the loss of the brand is a blow to all of skateboarding. It's a blow to the fans, it's a blow to you, that it should just kind of stay around, whether you're on, whether you're wearing it, whatever, it should just kind of stay around.
You know, how the skate game goes, that's just part of it, you know, like we got to deal with a bigger picture at hand. If we don't, you know, work on ourselves as skateboarders in our community, like supporting each other in our businesses and our little small ventures and this and that, we're basically gonna get eaten up by the big guys, and then we're gonna have hundreds of pros and AMs and just not ever gonna really get what they deserve. But I think I talked to Chad. I think he said Fallen was like thinking about making a comeback, and I didn't want to say anything to anybody because it was super premature, and this was like, I mean, from right now, probably like a year ago now, that he was like saying stuff, and I'm like, that would be crazy.
I left before Fallen kind of died at Black Box, so I left literally out of like pride and happiness. It was time for me to move on. So when Fallen died after I was gone, it was pretty devastating. You know, I knew all the employees, and we all stay close. I pretty much hired everybody. Seeing something that you love so much die it made me sad, you know. And then a lot of people don't get the opportunity to do it again and to do it differently. If I do it the same way, and people are like, "This isn't Fallen. This isn't what Fallen was." Like, Fallen will never be what it was back then. It's going to be a different version, and it's going to be the current version and the future version. But it'll never be what it was because it's impossible to redo that. We just want to create something relatable for the kids, the new up-and-coming kids, create a core footwear brand that could also speak to the masses and stay true to the roots, but also kind of diving into the future of what's next in skateboarding footwear.
I had been seeing things in between when Fallen was gone until it had like magically reappeared. Yeah, like I think there were still people posting stuff like in Europe and I guess obviously Argentina, because that's where Ronnie is from. He's like the head honcho now. I mean, shit, he's running it, so we're just under his wing and we're doing the US thing.
Ronnie, the new owner, Ronnie was our original distributor in Argentina for Fallen back in the day. So Ronnie loves Fallen just as much as we do. He bought the brand from the factory, which took about a year and a half to actually going through all of his trials and tribulations of getting it to where he could actually purchase it and revamp it. They do everything they have like 50 or 60 employees in Buenos Aires, and they do a phenomenal job at what they're doing there. And then with us at 224, we run all the marketing, all the social media. We did the whole launch, shoot all the content, catalogs here in the studio, and kind of like just make sure that the voice for Fallen in the future and the present is on par with what it was in the past, and staying true to that, but also making it relatable.
The main reason that it actually had the ability to relaunch was that they wanted to bring it back. He never wanted it to go away, obviously, and wanted to try to see if he could relaunch it. With relaunching it, he really wanted to work with Chad to kind of validate and keep it, you know, core to what it was, and then also that would lead into the athletes that we had involvement in. With that being said, I mean, without the actual fans, because that was where we were kind of testing the water, because we completely started over with social media and we're just posting some photos of the shoes and talking about it, and it really started like going on its own, snowballing into something bigger, with a lot of people just be like, oh, bring this back, bring that back. And so it's been really exciting. Through that has kind of given the traffic into making it all happen.
I've seen what to do and what not to do with Fallen. So I think my opinion, you know, like probably mine and Jamie's opinion, you know, like are the most real you get, you know. And with Jamie not being a part of it and being a part of Stray, which is great, and we wish him nothing but the absolute best, and we're still friends and talk usually once a week. Even though where he's at is different than here, I still want him to be proud. I want him, if he sees something there's still a part of me that wants him to look at it and be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing it right, you know? I don't want to do it the same way it was done. I want to keep all the authenticity of what it was, but make it something new and relatable to like how the times have changed and skateboarding has changed. And then I'll let, you know, Tommy and Billy and the other guys, like they can handle the streets, and you know, like Dexter handles a lot of the operations for what we're doing, and then Will handles a lot of like digital side of what we do, and I'm just kind of, you know, shoot photos and manage from 30,000 feet and hopefully just steer the train in the right direction, you know.
We had a meeting, and the first 3 people on were me, Billy, and Zach Doling.
I wrote the fall on Instagram. I was like, hey, put me back on. And it was like 3 weeks, maybe a month later. Finally got a reply. It says, call Foreman. I'm like, all right. So I called Chad, and I was like, hey, I got a message that said to call you. He's like, yeah, stupid, that was me. I was like, oh shit, I had no idea that Chad was doing it. I thought it was just still international. And then I was like, put me back on. He's like, yeah, we'll talk about it. I was like, let's go to breakfast. I was like, all right. Went to breakfast, sat down, pulled my computer out. He's like, what the fuck you doing? I was like, I want to show you the new shit I get. He's like, I don't care. I know you're good. And then we just kind of bullshitted and didn't talk about it no more. And then like a week later, he's like, all right, here, this. Like, apparently I was on. I had no idea.
I heard about it a long time ago, but started actively talking to Chad about it a couple months ago. I think the moment where it felt very real is kind of like now, you know, like a month ago. You can post on Instagram and things like that and that not be real. It's when you start to have the illustrations of what it's going to look like in your hands, and you start pulling it in and marking it up and like change this color for this color and doing colorways of like different t-shirts and stuff like that. That's when you start to see the brand actually take form. And that's something that's special to me currently. Like, I'm still doing that right now.
It was the right time, the right place and the right time for them. Like, Tommy was massive for Fallen back in the day. And if you're starting a brand new brand and building a brand new team, you have the massive budget. Tommy's still one of the dudes that I would want to have on just because of his passion and his realness. And that's what I want to build the foundation of Fallen on now. People that are real as shit, that tell the truth, that give a shit, they're passionate, and they're talented, and they want to be a part of it because of the love. Skateboarding is lacking that right now. It needs to be fucking real, you know? It has to be real, and if you're not real with yourself and real where you are and real what you're trying to do, then why even do it?
What I think is really important about Fallen coming back right now, of all the times, is that skateboarding needs it. It came back at the perfect moment because I've been feeling like skateboarding is looking for skateboarding's identity again. That's why people are dressing like the silly boy from the 90s. For a while, everybody was out there skating looking like Bruno Mars, and it was like, wait, I thought we made the trends. Why are we following trends? And so now skateboarding's taken that back and they want their own. Like, skateboarding wants its own thing where you see somebody in a pair of skate shoes and you go, hey, you're a skater too. Instead of it be like, everybody wears everything, you know? Like, that's definitely a skate brand and they want skater specific stuff, but there's not much of it. And so I think that everybody's kind of starved for skater specific stuff.
I think if the kids nowadays can just wrap their head around something new and think outside the box as far as what, you know, might be popular as far as like fashion and you know, what's the latest, what's the hottest and this and that, and create your own vibe and, you know, be somebody that, you know, people look at as different. Don't be scared.